I would love to sort of, in summation,
Hmm.
kind of talk through your best practices for
Hmm.
how you're finding news, how you're deciding to post,
Hmm.
what your sort of tips are for developing relationships and so
Hmm.
forth for others that can kind of write
Hmm.
these down and sort of begin to lead that in their own professional lives.
Yeah. So in terms of kind of these best practices, curating your LinkedIn, I think if you find people, because when you make a connection, you automatically get their feed. Don't be afraid to unfollow people. If you find that you can unfollow them, they don't know you unfollowed them, and you really want to make sure you're getting good content out there that's worthwhile, that's helping you. So I think don't mistake that unfollow button as a bad thing. It can be a great thing. I think when you think about news, I think trying to read legitimate news sources, trying to read a divergent point of view on news is important. And I think doing your own research in terms of your data and going on CoStar, looking at data yourself, and coming up with your own beliefs about what's happening, I think is definitely important. And don't be afraid to connect with people when people connect with you, and jump on Zoom calls like we did, Chris, and connect, and build and develop those relationships. But again, just understand it's it's it can be a great tool to make connections, but keep doing, like, it's not just something to make a connection. Like if you were in Orange County and you're following Sean Ward and you're like, wow, he puts all this great stuff out there, don't just comment that, hey Sean, can I buy you a cup of coffee one time? I'd really like to meet you. My sense is somebody like Sean or other people are happy to do that. And so I think leverage LinkedIn to build relationships, but you still got to do the piece
Right.
that's, not just, oh no, I know John, I made a comment on his post that he liked. It's like, that's not
Yeah.
a relationship, right?
Right. Right.
Um, it's funny. I'm thinking about this. Don't. Well, so one thing I would say is, I try not to post. I always go kind of like once a week, right? My posts tend to be long, and I kind of will think about something, and I'll just kind of write it out. Usually, then I'll come back to it like the next day, and then go, "Do I like this?" Sometimes I don't.
Hmm.
Sometimes I just post it. Um, what I always think is I try to do it once a week, and I'm always thinking like, somebody read this. Does this benefit them, or is it only benefiting me? And I
Yeah.
think that's a practice that always try to do. Am I giving somebody something that helps them? And what I find is whenever I do that, that's when I get more likes. That's when I've gained more likes. So think about others too. And so don't be afraid of that. Um, the don't be displaced. I'm curious. What did I say about that, Chris? What was my, I
I
don't even
think
remember.
Yeah, I think that just had to do with kind of not being so focused on all the things all the time, and
Yep.
really being focused on some of the pillars that you're talking about. And I think
Yep.
bringing it back to the old school real estate, which is, at the end of the day, need to be on a call, have a handshake, have a coffee, meet
100%.
people in person. It's one
And
thing.
I joke, you need to get out of your office. You need to go tour
Yeah.
projects. You need to go meet people. You
Yeah.
need to go drive your neighborhood, right? It's funny because I don't see my real estate projects enough. It's always something that I beat myself up on, because inevitably when I go, I'll be like, oh, what's that going on across the street? Is that a new restaurant? Oh, we should market that. That's going to be cool. We should go do. Like, hey, what's going on with the pool here? This furniture looks terrible. Why don't? And
Yeah.
so my point is like, there is a sense of, yes, being online and all that's great. You also got to get out into the real world, right? And
Right.
especially in real estate, because going to conferences, meeting people live, touring projects, driving your market, you can see things, and you can pick up on stuff, and you go, huh, man, why is that parcel vacant right there? There's stuff around it. What's going? I literally was driving yesterday with my kids, and I saw this like vacant corner, and I was like, huh, like, why is that corner vacant? And I made a note, and one of my team members, I followed up with him like, hey, like, should figure out, that's a great corner. Like, what's going on with that? Now there might not be anything there. My point is, getting into a car and driving, sometimes you can find opportunities. So
Yeah.
it's you just can't
Yeah.
be staring at a screen the whole time.